Stamp duty and pensions. Is it the new PPI scandal? Some of you may have seen earlier videos and press articles on the topic of the overpayment of stamp duty by pension schemes when acquiring trading property from their contributors. After a 3.5-year battle against the industry, despite numerous briefings in the House of Lords, I have to report that we have had a 100% success rate in recovering overpaid money from HMRC, but still the industry aren't listening. What's really quite interesting is the attitude of HMRC. When the Express first broke the story in 2020, they commented on the article in some fairly scary and, I would call it, deterrent language, warning about interest and penalties. When the article was updated in late August 2023, HMRC completely changed their position. They now say that in certain circumstances, which they believe to be limited, how would they know? They've never come and asked us how many we think they're affected, nor do I suspect their systems allow them to detect them. But in certain limited circumstances, stamp duty is not due. They have confirmed the position that we took in 2020. Now they have reversed their horrible scare stories. What is deeply disturbing about this is that HMRC's rejection, ably supported by certain professional institutions who publish blogs on the matter, and despite us having technical articles published in journals like Taxation, linked to the article below, the industry has refused to react, preferring to believe that the lawyers, quite often of whom are selected from a panel that they appoint, have been correct. But it is now evident, based on HMRC's change of mind, that this position has not been right. And after 3.5 years, not a considerable amount of blood, sweat and tears, it's nice to see that HMRC now confirm the position. So, where are we on this point? Well, based on information we had from one pension provider, we know that at least 500 and maybe as many as 1,500 pension funds have been affected every year since 2007. That's 16 years worth of incorrect transactions. If you're potentially one of the people affected, and I'll get to those who might be affected towards the end of this video, then you need to contact us for a free review because we will be able to get you your money back. So how many people could be affected? Well, let's take a floor figure of 500 times 16, that's 8,000. But we know that's only from one pension provider. If we estimate the whole of market, it looks to us as though anywhere from 15 to 24,000 pension funds are affected. And most of these will be owed, on average, £80,000. Now, you don't have to be a mathematical genius to work out that that is several billion pounds in overpaid tax that now has to be recovered because of the errors committed by the specialist pension property lawyers that were acting on behalf of the pension funds. So, what is affected? If you sold your business premises at a time when you were in partnership, doesn't matter what kind of partnership, to your pension fund or multiple funds, then you are almost certain to be entitled to compensation, and you should get in touch immediately. If you have sold your business premises from a company or a sole trader, but to multiple owners or to a pension scheme with multiple beneficiaries, then it's highly likely that you have overpaid. The only time when you would have paid SDLT properly is if your pension fund bought the premises from somebody who is not connected to you. If they were, then you're entitled to a refund. Now, the reason we call this a scandal is not only that it's been going on for so long, but the fact that we and those other professional advisors who agree with us have been vilified, have been persecuted and ignored, frankly slandered by the industry. And we're not going to take it anymore. We've tried to have all kinds of reasonable discussions with them over the last 3.5 years, and ultimately the door has been slammed in our faces, with a few notable exceptions, it must be said. But the larger players simply do not want to listen. They have their fingers in their ears and are just basically ignoring it. But it's not their money, it's your money. If you have a SIPP or a SSAS, it's your money, it's your pension capital that's been wasted and the growth on that pension capital. Now there's going to be more on this story. We've today written to the presidents of the major professional institutes asking why they have not asked us to report to them so that they can bring this to the public attention and the attention of the professions, and particularly to one professional institute who not only has been silent on the topic but has actually connived with HMRC to publish stories rubbishing stamp duty overpayments and reclaims, and to generally set the impression that anybody offering a service like ours is dodgy and not competent to do the job. This is absolutely disgraceful. These professional institutions have themselves essentially conspired to cover the backs of their own members who would be liable for the negligence claims, whilst helping out HMRC to keep your money, and at all times failing in their duty to serve the public and the law. If we do not receive a satisfactory response to our representations, we will be raising the issue in Parliament. Now, I'm usually quite a friendly guy on these videos, and I'm sorry like sounding for Mr. Angry, but I'm genuinely frustrated and concerned by this issue. If you think you might be affected, please click on the link in the description below. Get in touch. Let us do a review. It costs you nothing to find out that actually you're one of those people who aren't affected. We don't mind. We'd love to make sure that those that are affected are properly reviewed and identified so that the claim process can begin. I've been David Hanna. This is Cornerstone SDLT Refunds. Thank you for listening.